Alright, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Wakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth 100% securely. I would like to give a salutation to the Akim and Aqua who are listening and studying to show themselves approved. This is your brother Bayan from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Hebrew Israelite, coming back to you with another quick lesson. And really, I just wanted to pick up what I left off on my previous lesson, which is called sloppy obvious, and then I basically did a part one due to the fact that my phone was acting up yesterday, and it actually froze up on me. So right off back, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it, which is I'm gonna go ahead and get the definition of sloppy, which is sloppy meaning careless, unsystematic, excessively casual. Okay, of garment casual, of loose fitting, and let's see get the etymology meaning. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the etymology definition anyway. Let's go to sloppy again. Which is meaning loose, ill-fitting, slovenly, as first recorded, influenced by sloppily, lacking neatness or order, wet, smeared with spilled liquid, moist material. I mean, that pretty much give the point. And the point of this lesson was to show how sloppy Esau Edom is basically uh, the sloppiness of Esau Edom is basically showing his dirty hands. Okay, he's showing his wicked agenda. Okay, and he basically putting it out on the forefront for everybody, especially the whole world to see, where he's getting real sloppy with his agenda. He's showing that he really don't care anymore. He feel like that he's on top of the world, that he can't be brought down. That great pride. Okay, which I'm gonna go ahead and look up the meaning of obvious. And it says frequently met with, Latin, that is in the way, presenting itself readily open, exposed. Okay, and you see the politicians out here, and they're basically, you know, showing their hand, like easily perceived by the sense or grasped by the mind. Okay, so it ain't hard to see. Even the 2/3 see this wicked agenda behind this, this jab, this pandemic. Okay, so I just wanted to start that lesson off with that, and go into a commentary. Which in my last lesson, I highly recommend some people to go watch. This is not your rest. A student, which is proving that Esau Edom is gradually leading the people to go get this thing right here, which is that MOTB pertaining to Revelation 13 and 16. Okay, so but I wanted to show the value of Yasharala and why they're doing this wicked agenda. Which I'm gonna go ahead and play the first 7 minutes of it, and I'm gonna do a quick commentary. And I highly recommend you go watch this whole video too, which is by the elder Amawad Abad, and he have quite a few other pages. But this is the lesson where it says what is his name and what is his son's name, and that's the title of his page. Even the value. And his name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shah. So Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play a few of this, and it shows that first let me go get a quick precept, which is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 13. which I'm gonna start at verse 12, because it said, "For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret." And that's what you were talking about, the wicked elite. As if David prayed to the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, he said, "Hide me from the secret council." The workers of iniquity, because they are hiding. They're hiding things in plain sight. Okay, but they're using a puppet, which is the politicians, to usher in their agenda while they, in the background doing all of these wicked acts. Doing chess moves. In verse 13, he says, "But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light." And that light is this truth. Okay, the truth of this holy scripture is exposing these devils for who they really are. And he said, "For whatever do make manifest is light." And then verse 14 is the perfect example, because this is the whole point of me making this lesson. It says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest." So, and this is not talking about, physically sleeping. It's talking about the people that are roaming around in the world, like the people that doing that milk crate challenge. They're asleep. They're not aware of the thing that's going on around them. So basically, it's saying, "Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead." Okay, and you can go to read Ezekiel chapter 37, which pertain to this, to what he's saying right here in this scripture. "And Hamashiach shall give thee light." Okay, so the Lord Yahweh outside, because he's basically saying, "Heart of the Lord Yahweh outside," and he will give you light. He will give you wisdom to see. Blessed are your eyes for they see, and blessed are your ears for they hear. Okay, let me go ahead and start this video.
"The wicked walk on every side, when the vilest men are exalted. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever."
Slavery is a deplorable notion. One person owning another is acceptable in today's world. But history bears out the ugly truth of rich.
And you notice how it said, as a group of people, elite banker, they own your social security number and they own your birth certificate. Okay, and that's another form of slavery. As in my previous lesson, which I'm gonna go ahead and get that. I'm gonna go ahead and get that, which is in the book of Exodus, Exodus chapter 21, which I had brought it up, and I'm gonna go ahead and read it again. Exodus 21, and starting in verse 1, and I'm going to read down to verse 6. And he says, "Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant," okay, who's the Hebrews? Okay, we are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, a Hebrew servant. 6 years he shall serve, and the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. And these in the following verses are pertaining to certain situations. So if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. Okay. In verse 4, if his masters have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. Okay, and that's another situation. But this is the point in verse 5, because this is what Esau Edom is trying to do. And it says, "And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judge, and he shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through within all, and he shall serve him forever." Okay, and let's go real quick. Let's go look up what an all is. What matter? I'm just basically breaking down what an all is. It's a branding. It's a mark. Okay, just like a farmer will brand his cattle. Okay, they'll put a certain mark on it just to let the people know who that cattle is owned by. And this is exactly what Esau Edom is doing in his wicked agenda to this day. But when it says right here in verse 6, and he said, "Then his master shall bring him unto the judges." Okay, Esau Edom is not bringing Israel up into the judges. As a matter of fact, Esau Edom is ruling this world with the delusion as if we are free. Okay, this is how he taught the minds of the people that's in this world, in this society, that we're free, but in all actuality we're really not. Okay, because we're still subject under this system that he set up. Okay, so and the ultimate judge is Yahweh Shai Shai and his prophet, the people. Because when the Lord Yahweh Shai Shai, he's always had a mediator. Which, as I mentioned in my previous lesson, he's always had a mediator. So he set a prophet that bring forth his law. Okay, but Esau Edom he some other way, which is pertaining to St. John 10:1. Okay, and basically, yeah, and he said, then his servant shall bring him unto the judges. So Esau Edom is trying to avoid, he's trying to present himself as if he is the Most High, okay? And he shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through within all, and he shall serve him forever, okay? Now, that is the point because the way this system is going, they got this mandate of this jab, okay, and that jab is a prelude to that MOTB, which is pertaining to Revelation 13-16, okay, and basically and there's all kinds of reports, which is like I said, man, they got rid of my they took a video down because every time I say anything about that that serum that they're getting ready to mandate here in September, or they've already done it in New York and places like California. Anytime you say something about it, they're gonna take your video down. Okay, so I'm trying to use like code word just to know that this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that juice, that serum that everybody has to take. Okay, and another thing, when you look at the news, you notice who's the actual target because all throughout the news they saying that the so-called Negroes, the minority group, are hesitant on getting that serum, that juice. Okay, also your Latinos. Okay, with on the news report they saying it's only 35% of the Latinos, and then your Native American. All of us are hesitant on getting this jab, which is proving that the Most High chosen people, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are the target. Okay, they're trying to target the Most High chosen people. Which I'm gonna go ahead and bring that out in the book of Matthew. I'm gonna go ahead and bring that out, just proving because the reason why we're the target is because the Lord Yahweh Shai have established a covenant with our forefathers. Okay, and ever since then we have been the salt of the earth, as I'm getting ready to read in Matthew 5:13. It says, ye, and these are Yahweh Shah's words himself, okay? And he says, ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savior, which is basically the lost the words of the Lord Yahweh Shai, that means the words of the Lord is not within your mind. You're not even thinking about who's your true power. Okay, that will be considered you losing your salt. Okay, wherewith shall it be salted? It is then forth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden underfoot of men, which is also go to Zechariah 13:8. The 2/3 Israelites. Okay, who basically join covenant with these wicked elite top and the ones that really don't when they might hear the words of the Lord Yahweh Shai, those same individuals they say, yeah, I believe in the prophecy, but it's not going to happen yet. Those same people, those scoffers. Okay, this is pretty much pertaining to them as well. Okay, in verse 14 it says, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid, which proves that all throughout the world, no matter what, there is company that advertise their product based off the so-called Latino, Native American, and Negroes. Okay, there's a company that actually watch the so-called black man, okay? They watch the black man and see what they wear. And then they go get a whole clothing line on it just to sell those products. And if you can actually, and same go for the Native American. If you can go look up Nike's website right now, and they got a whole clothing line or clothing gears and Nike footwear and all of that stuff that cater to the Native American community. And the same go for the Latinas, okay, which is proving that verse 14, Matthew 5 and 14, ye are the light of the world. Okay, all nations and nationality want to be like Yasharallah. And it said, a city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it gives light unto all that are in the house. Okay? And that is talking about all the people that want to join forces with the Lord, join forces with Israel. You know, you got people that's actually waiting and patiently waiting, other nations outside of, you know, Yasharallah, which is the prince of the power, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They waiting for us to take our throne back. They waiting for us to get back with the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, because they know for a fact that once we get in power, they will be rejoicing. As it said in Proverbs 29 and 1, you know, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Okay, let me go ahead and get into this video, which is, go get back into the video, because this video actually proved in deep detail on the Willie Lynch letter, the things that they were doing just to enforce this law, which is the reason why, you know, you have people like Jada Pinkett think it's okay to sleep out on her husband, while it's where all of the wickedness actually come from. You know, Esau Edom is the forefront of all the wickedness around the world. He's the reason why the gay agenda is being made manifest to the whole world. Okay, he's the reason why people think it's okay to you know, when within people's marriage, they think it's okay to you know, with that swing culture where, you know, husbands and wives sleeping with other, you know, sleeping outside of their marriage and so on and so forth. You know, you're gonna see within these steps.
White plantation owners in Southern America owning black Americans and treating them with harsh physical punishments if they went against the owner's wishes. However, those television documentaries and references in history books seldom explore the very personal horrors faced by those who were enslaved some 2 centuries.
Which is proved when he said seldom explored, which is proved the reason why they keep on putting more money into, just to keep on forcing the lies. As if I just showed an example in my last lesson where they actually put more money into censoring the truth. You know, they want to keep on burying the truth.
Here are some instances where slaves were forced into extreme sexual behaviors and reproducing children to replenish the number of slaves solely for the benefit of their masters. Number 1. Slave women were subjected to many sexual improprieties. Among them were violations by their masters and their sons, forced matings, and arranged marriages. Number 2. Historian E. Frank said stockmen were weighed and tested before being put into a room with young women to mate for the purpose of bearing children. Number 3. By the end of the 18th century, the breeding of slaves was a common practice. Laws were changed so the public could view slaves as things instead of people, so the owner could do with them as he wished.
Okay, in that instant, all you have to do is look up, you can just Google this right now, look up 3/5 of a human law. And that's what it's talking about. That's one of the many laws where they view slaves as not human. And then got a precept right here, Joel 3 and 3. And they said, and they have cast lot for my people. Let me go ahead and get it real quick in the scripture, because I can barely see it on my my thing. Go to the book of Joel, chapter 3, and verse 3. And it says, and they have cast lot for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And yeah, and this is actually going into the very first nation that sold our people into slavery. Okay, and it said in verse 4, it said, and ye what have ye do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? O Tyre and Zidon, that is the nation of the true Africans, okay, the other dark nation. And it said, and all the coast of the Palestine, which is, will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Okay, which is goes back to before Yasharala, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, specifically the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because they was the ones in Africa. Okay, they was the one that got sold from Africa into the transatlantic slave trade, because the northern tribe, which is the Native Americans and the Latino was already here in the Americas. Okay, but what they don't really teach you about that in history, they teach about the Native American, saying that the American was the Native American in land, but they never teach about the Latinos who was also here in America, because they own Texas, California, Arizona, as you can see within the name itself, Arizona, California. You know, they own parts of Colorado. That's a part of the Latina history as well. America is too. Okay, but going back to this scripture, you know, Joel 3 and 4 is talking about when Israel was sold, that other dark race sold Israel into slavery. Okay, they was the first people that transgressed against us. All right, let me go back to the video.
Slave owners even began believing that slavery was grounded in the Bible. Number 4. American slaves in 1860 were worth $4 billion, which was far more than the $228 million worth of gold and silver circulated.
Which go back to what I just got you reading in Matthew 5:13. And I got another precept which goes good with that, because a lot of our people walk around thinking that they're not worthy. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? If any man defiles the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy, for the temple of the Most High is holy, which is temple ye are. And that word holy means separate, meaning that we, goes back to what I was just saying. Ye are the salt of the earth. Ye are the light of the world. Okay? The Most High, there's another scripture that goes into that the Most High made us a peculiar people. We are the treasure. Okay? And he also said that the other nation, which is 18 biblical nations according to the scripture, are like unto spittle to the Most High. Okay, and then go into the quick precept that talk about, the foul. And this is in the book of Leviticus 44, which is one of the book of the law. And it said, for I am the Lord your power. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourself. And how do you sanctify yourself? By this word. This word is compared to living water. Okay. And it says, and ye shall be holy, meaning that ye shall, follow not the ways of the heathen. Basically, follow the covenant of what the Lord Yahweh Shai set before us and our ancestors, okay? And that means holy. We separate ourselves. For I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourself with any manner of creeping thing that creep upon the earth. Okay? And that's the reason why we fell away from our grace, is because we follow the ways of the heathen. Okay, we disregard our covenant that we established with the Most High. All right, and then you jumping down to 1 Maccabees 1:63. Okay, this is the type of faith we gotta have. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. And it's 1:63. I'm gonna start at verse Okay, I'm gonna start at verse 60. Okay, because these were the times where the Maccabees, and if you actually think about that, if you seen that movie 300, that is pretty much this time period that it's talking about. Because Esau Edom is a clever hunter, and they made it seem like 300 was meant for those the so-called white man, but it was actually Israel. Okay, that was the dark race. Okay, which is the Maccabean period. All right, and it said, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. Okay, and that was a part of the law. You have to be circumcised. Okay, and he said they hanged the infant about their neck and rifled their house and slew them that had circumcised them. Okay, and he said, howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Okay, and that was at these times there was people that was actually that refused to eat that pig. Okay, they was actually murdered for that as well. Okay, so we have a lot of history behind eating a pig. Okay, this is another reason why we shouldn't be even thinking twice about eating pork, because there was, the so-called white man actually killed our people that didn't want to eat the damn pork. They're chewing that same horn as they did back then. They're chewing it now. Like, if you don't get this jab, they're gonna take away your job. Okay, they're gonna, kick you out of your house. They're laying you off. It's the same thing. The things that have been, which it shall be done, there's no new thing under the sun. Okay, and in verse 63, wherefore the rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meat, that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. So, which it goes into another precept in quite a bit, definitely in the book of Revelation, where it said, be thou faithful unto death. Okay, well, I believe that's Revelation 2 and 10. And quite a few of them. And he said, he that shall lose his life shall be saved. Loosely paraphrasing, okay? So, when these devils come try to get you to fall in line, get you to follow their covenant, it's better just to die than to, divide spoils with the wicked. All right, in verse 64, and there were very great wrath upon Israel. Okay, and that's basically we're in that time now. That we're definitely in those times. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the video.
Back then, even the value of southern farmland, $1.92 billion, did not amount to the worth of the slaves. So for the owners, their slaves were worth everything to them. Number 5.
And that's just to keep proving my point. This is why the Rothschilds and the Rockefeller, that's what they look at us. They look at your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's why they still have that 3/5 of a human law still in effect. It's still on the book. They never done away with the law. They use a symbolism where they try to say Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery. But really, if you read the law, it said you are no longer 3/5 of a human being until you commit a crime. Okay, that's why they have so much stock in the jail system. I remember seeing a newspaper article where they were suing the city for not having enough inmates. Okay, so these are the things that, these are sloppy obvious. Blessed are your eyes for they see, and blessed are your ears for they hear. Okay, these are the things that's going on around you.
The mortality.
So Salakia, but for when they mention that, when I mentioned that give me control of a nation's currency, that currency is talking about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And now they're enforcing it on the whole world. Okay, these elite bankers, these small group, they feel like they want to control the whole world so bad that they want to be like the Most High. Which I will, Lord willing, I'll be able to get that in the scriptures as well.
The rate among slaves was very high, so their owners would often encourage or force them to have children. Even at the age of 13, females were expected to begin having children to replenish the slave stock. They were expected to have children by the age of 20. They were often encouraged by their owners to do this with the promise of freedom.
See, and there you go. See, that's proof right there that they're doing it as of today. They just like they do with the women today. They can get Section A food stamp as long as the man is not around. Okay, with the promise, they promise the Section A food stamp, they'll take care of you, but they can't have their man in the house. It's the same scenario.
So, including I have 6 baby daddies. Okay, so yeah, the number is a lot. I've got more baby daddies than a lot of people.
Number 6.
Yeah, and right there, and that's why the so-called modern day women today, where they think it's okay to, have multiple sex partners and so on and so forth, they don't realize where that mentality came from. And it started with the Willie Lynch letter. Okay, all you seeing right here is the direct detail of what madness that they was applying on the slaves at the time. And don't think for one second that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans wasn't getting treated like pit bull dogs either. It was all of Yasharala, okay?
Female slaves who did not cooperate with their owners to bear children for them would be subjected to many and various punishments, both mental and physical. Number 7. In some instances, the females who bore children for their owners were given gifts, including extra clothing, the withdrawal of any harsh treatment, and sometimes, if their quota was met, freedom. Number 8.
And it goes back to there was a small video where, man, this woman, oh man, you could tell she was so lost and so delusional, but the way the stuff that she was saying, it made sense in her little mind, her little delusional mind. She was saying stuff like, why would I have one baby daddy when I can have 6 baby daddy and get this much money, from the government assistance? And it just proved that they've been applying this method for so many years. She broke down the numbers. She broke it down to the science, okay? She was like, if I had 3 kids by one baby daddy, I only get 300, you're basically 300, basically 14% of his income. So I'll get about 300 for those 3 kids, something like that, loosely paraphrasing. But if I had 3 different baby daddies by, 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies, something like that. And she was like, I would get $340 for each kid. So that is a total of, such and such. And then she did, and at the end of the video, she was like, why don't you have 3 different baby daddies? Like this shit is okay. But this is just the madness that Esau Edom pushed. This is the madness that Esau Edom pushed throughout the whole world. This is that vibration, that enchantment.
Women who did not or could not bear children would not be given any breaks or rewards that were given to mothers, and they would do the same work on the level of men. Number 9. If a woman was deemed infertile, she would sometimes be separated from her family, and owners would sometimes split up married couples and require them to choose new partners. Number 10. Male slaves at the age of 15 were inspected to see if they could breed well. If it was deemed that they could not, their testicles would be castrated. Over the course of 5 years, each young male was expected to get at least 12 female slaves. According to the slave narratives, a male slave named Bert was said to have fathered over 200 children.
So let me...
Okay, see, and that right there proved that, man, he said it all pretty much, man. Like that just proved that Yasharala, Israel is basically like the grains of the sand. Okay, that that quote, that Tupac quote, "We don't die, we multiply." You know that proved that we are more fertile than any nation on the whole earth. Okay, that's why the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua said, the number of Israel is like the grains of the sand. You know, it cannot be numbered. Loosely paraphrasing.
Ask you this question, Jay. 34 children. At any point, dawn on you, this is too much.
No.
So at child 15, you never said, let me use a condom?
I did use condoms.
How many?
I probably would have 200 kids if I didn't use condoms.
Really? Did it ever dawn on you, let me get a vasectomy?
No.
Why not?
I don't want one.
But look what you've created.
And you look at Ayana like she thinking this is, see, according to the Holy Scripture, this is normal. This is what the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua said in the book of Genesis. He said, "Go forth, be fruitful and multiply." But here it is, you got the Eve woman who basically adopted the serpent philosophy, and she thinking that's not normal. She thinking like, like how she's speaking. Did it ever dawn on you like this? This is the type of stuff that we deal with in this wicked society. This place is getting ready to go. It's falling. It's on its last leg.
I don't have a problem with what I created.
Number 11. Plantation owners would often take the pretty female slaves and put them to work in the household. But if the owner showed affections or gave favors to the pretty girl, his wife would subject her to torture. If the pretty slave bore a child, the owner's wife would behead that child. Number 12.
Yeah, and then you still see that to this day, like the pretty women. Like if you ever work in a restaurant, I seen this time and time again. Like I was a cashier at a restaurant, and all the pretty servers actually got good tip compared to the not so pretty servers. I mean they had $300 in cash and they had $300 in credit card, tips.
To provide entertainment for his friends, the plantation owner would sometimes arrange orgies among the male and female slaves. His friends would be allowed to join in. Number 13. A slave wife could never be faithful to her husband, as most owners demanded she have affairs with other men. Nor was she allowed to remain pure or virtuous. Number 14. Some male slaves were purchased by their owners solely by the size of their penis, and the black men were often raped by their gay slave owners. This process was called breaking the buck.
Yeah, see, and as you can see, so all of these steps, it all came from everything, all wickedness that you see, the gay agenda, it all started with Esau Edom, your so-called white man.
Finally, number 15. Not all owners abandoned the children they fathered with female slaves. Some would provide them with education and money, and some owners even set free their mistresses and mixed-race children.
Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Shalom.
And that's the point right there. See, because Esau Edom is getting ready to get taken out of the way, which I wanted to bring in. Let's go ahead and get Revelation 12 and 12. Because this is the reason why he's making these moves throughout this pandemic, okay? Which I'm gonna start at I'm gonna go ahead and start at verse 10, which is Salati. I'm gonna start at verse 9, okay? Because that last precept in Thessalonians said, until he be taken out of the way. And this is an example right here, Revelation 12 and 9. And he said, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, and that old serpent goes back to Eve in the garden, in one, and called the devil, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Which, as you can see right now, who was deceiving the whole world? That serpent, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And he was cast out into the earth, and his angels was also cast out with him. And who was the angel? The so-called, the so-called 2/3 Israelite that joined the covenant. Your celebrity that basically making songs talking about going to go get the encouraging Israel to go get that jab, get that Jew, that serum. And then you got the other heathen nation that join in with these wicked white ass devils at the top as well. Okay, you got your so-called African, who they always been in cahoot, which is basically, you read Psalms chapter 83. The first verse all the way to basically the whole chapter, because they give you the whole hit list of everybody that's against Israel. All right, in verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation. Okay, our salvation is nearer than what we believe, and strength in the kingdom of the Most High, of the kingdom of our power, and the power of his Hamashiach, of his anointed, which is the Lamb. Okay, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And they're talking about that wicked media, that always put your so-called Latino and Native American in the limelight and paint us out to be beasts. Every time we're in the media, we're in the media, being shot up, or we're shooting somebody up, robbing a bank, so on and so forth. Right? And in verse 11, it said, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. Okay? And the blood of the Lamb is talking about Yahweh Shah, okay, who died on the cross. He is considered the Lamb. And by the word of their testimony, that's this gospel. And they loved not their life unto the death. Okay? We basically, you read Romans chapter 12 and 1, it says, make thy body a living sacrifice. Okay? Therefore rejoice ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe into the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. Okay, he know that his time is up. Salakia, yeah, he knows that his time is up. Okay, he knows that he's getting ready to lose his throne. Okay, there's a scripture in the Apocrypha where it says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. Okay, so all of the things that's taking place where the Lord Yahweh Shah is getting ready to take Esau Edom out of his throne. He's going to take him out and place Israel on top. And we're going to rule the whole earth in righteousness. Okay? And you keep following it with the precept. Let's go ahead and get 2 Thessalonians. Because this is the reason why, because I read that precept, know ye not is the temple of the Most High, okay? And the reason why they're coming for Israel is because of this. They have this mindset. Let's go 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and yeah, I'm gonna start at verse 3, and it says, let no man deceive you by any means. Okay, don't let this media outlets deceive you, trying to say that this serum, this Jew is the end all be all. Okay, the scriptures also said never trust thy enemy. Okay, and it said, for that day shall come, except there come a falling away first. Okay, that falling away represent us losing our faith, losing our grace from the Lord Yahweh Shah, because we did not keep his covenant. And that man of sin be revealed. And who is that man of sin? Okay, the elite banker, they're being revealed. Okay, when I mention give me control of a nation's currency, you can look that up in Google. That's the man of sin. And he said, I care not who make his law. And he said, the son of prediction, your so-called white man, and the people that following along with his agenda. In verse 4, he said, who opposes and exalt himself above all that is called the Most High. Okay, that image, that the blonde hair, blue eyed devil, okay, that they call Jesus Christ, okay, or that worship, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, okay. And remember, the Lord said we are the temple, okay. And when they say sitting in the temple as if he the Most High, he's trying to defile our temple so we can worship him and not the Most High, okay, showing himself that he is the Most High. And then verse 5, he said, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. Okay, as it, that last precept in that video that I just mentioned. Okay, and that's what the Lord Yahweh outside said, because if we did not follow his covenant, these were the curses that would be brought upon us. Reading Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 all the way to 68. Those are the curses that represent Israel. Okay, and yeah, so that's basically that man of sin, okay, and he's leading in everything that he's doing right now, which is right in before our eyes. You read the book of Matthew 24, and then you look on the news. All of those things is happening, okay, and basically get away from those people that say, yeah, I see all of this stuff is happening, but it ain't, it's not gonna happen yet. Man, don't fall for that, man, because this is because I was just reading this earlier. What's this First Peter, let me go get that. This is First Peter. What is it, Second Peter? Let's try it. Yeah, Second Peter chapter 3. Yeah, it said, knowing this first, there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? Okay, because the Lord Yahweh outside is coming, and he, like I said, he's gonna destroy the wicked rulers of this earth. And he said, for since the Father fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation, which it goes back to that serpent who deceived Eve, and he deceived Eve of that wicked philosophy. Okay, just like the slave owner was deceiving the slave owning women, saying that they have certain amount of baby, they will let them go free. With, just like the Lord Yahweh outside, when he basically came to Eve and he said, what is this thou hast done? And she turned around and said, the serpent beguiled me. And that word beguiled means tricked me. Okay, he lied to them, just like he deceived the whole world. Okay. And so let me get another quick precept. I'm gonna get ready to close this out. This is the book of Isaiah. Let's see what Isaiah 65 and verse 2. And this is the Lord Yahweh all day. And he said, I have spread out my hand all the days unto a rebellious people, which walk in the way that was not good after their own thought. A people that provoked me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in garden and burn incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the grave and lodged in the monument, which eat swine flesh, that's that pig, and blocked of abominable things in their vessel, which it goes back to the precept where I said, do not defile the temple. And he said, which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are a smoke in my nose and a fire that burned all the day. Okay, that basically talking about the Lord Yahweh. He's so mad that man, his smoke coming out of his nose, right? And in verse 6, he said, behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silent, but I will recompense into their bosom their iniquities, in the iniquities of their fathers together, said the Lord Yahweh, which have burnt incense upon the mountain, a blasphemy upon the hill. Therefore I will measure their former work into their bosom. Okay, what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. Galatians 6 and 7. Chapter 4, verse 7 through 8. Right? So yeah, man. Let's get. Yeah, man. That's pretty much it right there. Matter of fact, let me go get Revelation because I mentioned Revelation 2 and 10. Okay, so that last precept goes for those 2/3. Okay, but as for the hopeful elect, the people that wanting to, live right by the Lord Yahweh Shai, it says Revelation 2 and 10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." Okay, because the Lord said He gonna try you as gold is tried, and He gonna try you as silver is tried. Okay, these things are gonna come upon us, and we said, "Be thou faithful." Okay? Because when it comes down to it, we're gonna be faced with the decision that we're gonna have to lose our job. We're not gonna be faced with we're gonna be faced with the reality that serving the Lord Yahweh Shai, we're gonna have to lose our lifestyle in order to gain favor with the Lord Yahweh Shai, which is loosely paraphrasing. He said, uh, "He that seeks to save his life shall lose it." Okay, and he that lose his life for my sake shall gain his life. Okay, loosely paraphrasing. All right, so Revelation 2 and 10, he said, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." Okay. All right, so Lord willing, I hope this lesson was edifying. It's just kind of long-winded. I have a lot more precept, but that kind of covered the point that I really wanted to make. So with that, I want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth and securely. Shalom, DTA, Abba Baba, Kwam Yasharala.